What's up, Mavletic lovers and listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Maverick Postgame. We've got another full show for you today as Mesa Baseball completes the sweep of UCCS.
And softball faces a tough loss.
Plus, men's lacrosse gains another incredible victory after a close game.
And women's lacrosse achieves a historic overtime win.
All of that and so much more as we move ahead into this recap-packed episode of Maverick Postgame. So with that being said, I'm your host, Grace Metcalf.
And I'm Wiley Mitchell.
Let's get into all the game-breaking stats, off-the-wall wins, heartbreaking losses, and in-depth analysis of our CMU athletics. Roll it!
Hello everyone, and once again, I'm Wiley Mitchell.
And I'm Grace Metcalf. Let's hop right in and take a look at all the Mavtastic action that took place this week here at CMU. The Colorado Mesa baseball team completed the sweep of the UCCS Mountain Lions on Sunday as they came away with a 13-6 win. The Mavericks scored 5 runs in the first and 5 runs in the fourth innings to put the game out of reach. Robert Sherrar, Conrad Villafuerte, and Harrison Rogers all had 3 hits in the game. Sherrar continued his hot streak with a 3-for-5 performance with 3 runs driven in that includes a double and a triple, while Rogers was 3-for-5 with a run scored. Blake Rahm got his first start of the season and went his scheduled 2 innings and did not factor into the decision. Sophomore Kyle Miller earned the win behind him as he pitched the next 3 innings. He allowed 4 runs on 7 hits, walked 1 and struck out 4 in 58 total pitches. Bridger Klontz, Joey Mazzetti, and Jared managed to pitch the remaining 4 innings scoreless. They combined for 4 hits and 6 strikeouts with no walks. The Mavericks moved their record to 33-9 on the season and 22-2 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. As a team, the Mavericks were able to have more RBIs, 13-6, and hits, 16-14 in the game. Although UCCS had more home runs, the Mavs had fewer strikeouts, 13-5.
The Colorado Mesa softball team dropped 2 games and 3 in the weekend series to visiting Colorado Christian University, ranked 9th in the country, on Sunday. The Mavericks lost the first game 12-0 as the Cougar pitcher Kiley Crandall tossed the perfect game. The Mavs then lost the second 7-1 as Ava Fugate hit a solo home run for the Mavericks, who recognized 5 departing players who have won a combined 10 conference titles in their CMU careers. During Senior Day festivities, in between the games, the last home contestants of the season, the Mavs are now in 4th place in the RMAC standings, but just a half game behind Regis. As a team, the Mavericks in Game 2 overall did not do so great at this time around, though they were close in numbers of hits, 7-9. The Mavs had more strikeouts and didn't have very many RBIs. The Mavs were able to get their 1 run off a home run.
The Colorado Mesa women's lacrosse team did just enough to hold off the Griffins, winning 14-13 on the road. In the process, the Mavericks clinched at least a share of the RMAC's regular season title and secured the rights to host the upcoming RMAC tournament. AJ Switzer led the way with 5 goals and 2 assists, while Jed Brummett returned to his high-scoring form with his 11th hat trick of the season. Sal Iaria knotted a hat trick off of assists and added a goal for a 4-point night. Mac Bayless played the entire game in net for the Mavericks, making a career-high 13 saves. With the win, CMU is 12-2 overall and 4-0 in RMAC play. Colorado Mesa needs to win just 1 of their remaining 2 games against Adams State and CSU Pueblo to clinch the outright RMAC championship. Even if the Mavs were to stumble and lose both games, which would each be first in program history to those opponents, they can finish no worse than tied with Westminster at 4-2 and would still host based on the head-to-head tiebreaker with the Griffins.
With one moment, the Colorado Mesa women's lacrosse team erased 12 years of frustration and made a winning conference title for the first time in program history. a very real possibility after surviving a furious comeback from number 4 Regis to pull a stunning upset over the Rangers, 14-13 in overtime. The Mavericks tallied their first ever win over a top 5 ranked team and broke a Regis winning streak of 46 consecutive wins outside the NCAA tournament. The Mavs also broke their own streak of what had been 18 consecutive losses to ranked opponents prior to today. Colorado Mesa held on to win despite Regis scoring 8 of the game's final 11 goals and winning 10 of the game's final 11 draws. With the win, Colorado Mesa moves into first place by themselves in the RMAC, the latest point in that season the Mavericks have ever been in that position.
Now that we have recapped some of the games, it's time to announce our Maverick of the Week. Our Maverick of the Week goes to Kiley Davis. Kiley earned her first RMAC Offensive Player of the Week award of the season, which is also the first offensive nod of the year for the CMU program. Davis, who leads the conference with 48 goals and 58 points, was at her best this past weekend with 8 points in 2 Maverick victories. Congratulations, Kiley, for your outstanding performance. You are Maverick of the Week. We are now at the end of our show, and it is time for our closing statements. My closing thought is on the golf teams. Both the men's and women's teams have been performing well in the championships. They both just completed their second round of the RMAC championship, and the men's team took 4th place.
That's awesome. My closing thoughts are on the lacrosse teams. It's incredible what they've accomplished, and I'm excited to see the outcome of their hard work.
I am too. I'm sure they, along with our other sports, will bring some exciting action to wrap up the season. Now that we have wrapped up all the action from this week and given our closing thoughts, it is time to close the show. Thank you everyone so much for joining us this week on Maverick Postgame. I've been your host, Grace Metcalf.
And I've been Wiley Mitchell.
Be sure to go check out our channel 62.2 for more games and updates. We'll catch you next week on an all-new recap-packed episode of Maverick Postgame. Stay safe, Mavs, study hard, go to a game or two, and of course, have yourselves a most amazing day.